Now, one question we get from clients all the time is, how do I fire an employee? How do I gear up for a termination? Hey there, this is attorney Sarah Holmes of Holmes Business Law P.C. We are a business and trademark law firm that also offers general counsel subscription services to business owners. So most people do not like having to fire their employees. A lot of times they've developed a relationship with an employee. They have had someone work for them for some period of time. Rarely is firing or terminating an employee pleasant for anyone. But if you're in this situation and you need to know what to do, you have to really have a game plan first. So ideally, number one is that if this is sort of a slow slog termination, meaning this is someone that didn't do something really off the wall that warrants immediate termination, like you find out they're stealing money from your company, they're intoxicated on the job, they've gotten in a fight with another coworker, they're dangerous. Those are normally reasons to terminate someone immediately on the spot, right? If you don't have that situation and it's more like things have built up over time and you're realizing, look, this person isn't working out, I really would be better off getting rid of them, then what you have to think about is what type of documentation do you have showing that maybe they weren't doing the best job. Now, if your state, such as Pennsylvania, is an at-will employment state, you don't have to do these things. You are free to hire and fire people at any time, so long as it's not discriminatory or illegal. You don't have to wait and document everything. However, it is a better practice to do so. If this person or this employee later comes back and claims that maybe they were discriminated against or you fired them for an illegal reason, if you have objective evidence of how they're not doing their job on paper, that's much better for you in defending against potential claims like that. So what you really want to do is, as soon as an employee is not adhering to certain policies or procedures in your business, you really do want to start documenting that. So that can look like a memo, like, hey, a memo to Joe Smith on Friday. Joe Smith, I noticed that you came in half an hour late and you left half an hour early. You know that the policies as outlined in our handbook are that you're here on time and these are your work hours. If you're having any trouble, please let us know, right? So there right now is a warning. If Joe Smith continues to be late, you can document that again and say, hey, Joe Smith, this is the third time you've been late in 1 week. Just to let you know, this is again in violation of company procedures and policies, right? So if you start documenting that, and you have to fire Joe Smith because of the reason that he's late all the time, and Joe Smith later comes back and says, hey, you actually, fired me because I'm old. Now you say, no, Joe, we didn't fire you because you're old. We fired you because, look, we kept telling you you're late, you're late, you're late. You kept showing up late, and here we go. So that's definitely something you want to do, is figure out what type of paper trail you have before you terminate someone. Like if they've not been doing their job, hopefully you're documenting that and communicating that to them. Now, if you think that the employment relationship might be salvageable and maybe someone just has a temporary issue, you can choose to maybe put someone on a performance improvement plan or also a PIP. In that instance, you would still do the documenting, but you would also say to this person, look, I'm going to give you 30 days to improve your performance. And, if you can't get it together, we're going to have to, go our separate ways. So that's a way of alerting people, hey, your performance is a problem. I'm going to give you one last chance to fix this, and see if they can actually right the ship and if you want to keep them as an employee. So think about that as well. Now, let's say you actually have to terminate someone. You want to have a plan in advance. Many people like to terminate on Fridays because there's less of a risk that someone may come back, and cause an incident. You want to make sure you have everything that belongs to the company. Like you need keys, you need computers, you need any equipment, you need all that stuff back as soon as possible. So you need to arrange for that, ideally as they are walking out the door. If there any type of a security risk or you were nervous about what they might do in a termination, you may want to have security or someone else there as well. And then you want to think about whether you're going to offer a severance or anything. So sometimes you can offer severance in agreement for an employee releasing certain claims. So an employee typically cannot release unemployment claims. So if they go file for unemployment and they're awarded unemployment, you typically would have to pay that as the employer. They can release certain discrimination claims. So you could have that in a release that says, hey, if we agree to pay you this amount of severance money, or some money for another month of wages, you agree to release these types of claims against us. Sometimes if you know this is something coming in advance and you have any inklings that this employee may be litigious, that might be something you want to do. However, that type of settlement and release is absolutely something you need to have an attorney do. Even if you have an HR department, you should get that reviewed very, very carefully by legal counsel. So you can terminate them, get the equipment back, get your keys back, maybe have them sign a severance. In certain states, you may be required to provide them with certain forms. In Pennsylvania, there's a specific unemployment form that you have to give to people. You typically have to give COBRA notices about any benefits and the health insurance. And then from there, wish them good luck and send them on their way. Now, if you later get calls about references, you want to be very careful what you say. You typically don't want to disclose to someone calling for a reference that this person was terminated, they were a terrible employee, they didn't do all these things. That's definitely not a good thing to do. A good policy is just to say we will verify dates of employment and that's it. Our policy is we don't give out any other information or references to people. So again, it's not something anyone likes to do. It's tough for all parties. Sometimes it's necessary, and sometimes it ultimately ends up being the best thing for everyone involved. So if you do need help with your employees or a termination situation, feel free to reach out to our office. Our number is 215-482-0285. You can also download our handy business legal protection checklist from the link below. Thanks.